everybody, and welcome to a quick parents and youth info session for this year's National Catholic Youth Conference 2021. For those who have never been to NCYC before, NCYC is the largest gathering of Catholic youth in the nation. This year, due to COVID, it's going to be about 10,000 folks gathered together. Normally, it's right around 20 to 25,000. Takes place up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Most of the sessions take place in the Indiana Convention Center, and traditionally, the mega sessions take place in Lucas Oil Stadium, where the Colts play. This year's NCYC is November 18th through the 20th, and we'll actually be missing school on Thursday and Friday. Now, don't worry about that. I'll be writing a letter to schools, along with there will be a letter from the Archdiocese and the National Federation saying to please excuse these students on these days. Some schools do it as an excused absence, some do it as an unexcused, depending on the situation. But schools usually are really good at letting students out unless they're in bad academic standing or there's been a behavior issue, which, knock on wood, we haven't had in many years. Our MCs this year are Brian Greenfield and Sister Miriam, who are both fantastic speakers. If you've never seen them, Sister Miriam and Brian are both a ball of energy, and I'm excited for them to be our MCs this year, kind of leading our way through NCYC. What will we be doing? Well, there's tons of bands and speakers. We're going to have adoration and mass as a part of it. And it's just a giant celebration for 3 days of our faith. And if you've never been around that many people who are on fire and excited for their faith, it is just a very powerful situation and really a cool environment to be in. The breakout sessions, as I said, take place normally in the convention center, and those focus on kind of more specific topics. So what we do is we break apart in small groups, seeing where folks want to go, and attending those small group sessions as small groups, attending the breakout sessions, and then coming back together and kind of talking about what we learned and the speakers and all that good stuff. And then, of course, there is the thematic village as well, which is kind of like a Catholic bazaar, street fair, I don't know what you want to call it, but it is amazing. It's got some very experiential stuff like meal packing for those living in the third world. It's got exhibits on our faith. It's got groups who will be there. The bishops usually stop in and say hello in the bishops area. So lots of good information, lots of ways that you can celebrate your faith. And there's also just some fun. There's usually some gaga pits, and there's some high ropes and low ropes elements from our friends up at CYO camp. So the village is a lot of fun as well. Our policy is that young people are not allowed to skip sessions. You're paying a price to be there. And so we're asking that you go to sessions for all the times that sessions are offered. The one exception to that is if there's a small group who one session isn't really feeling or interested in, or maybe just kind of needs a little bit of a mental break, we will allow one small group to go to the thematic village for one of those breakout sessions where you're still engaged, still involved in your faith, but not necessarily listening to a speaker per se. How we'll be getting there this year actually will be in school buses. We'll be half full, but we'll be traveling with the Archdiocese of Louisville up there. We'll be staying in hotels on the south side of Indy off of Southport Road. For those who are familiar, the hotels are kind of right off the opposite side of Super Target there. Behind there's, let's see, a Burger King and a Steak and Shake and all that on that side of the interstate. I'll know our specific hotels as it gets closer and the diocese assigns us. Students will be sharing a room with someone, but they will not be sharing a bed this year. Normally we pack about 4 students into a room. This year, because of COVID, we'll only be putting 2 people maximum in a room where everyone will have their own bed. We will be making a rest stop since we're traveling on school buses and not coach buses up outside of Columbus, Indiana on the way up, and I believe on the way back as well, and giving students opportunities to use the restroom. The rules for NCYC, the normal St. Michael Youth Ministry rules apply in terms of dress code, making sure that you're dressed properly, no drugs or alcohol, logos on your shirts, no purple, AKA you may find somebody you like there, you may find somebody you love, who knows, but we're gonna ask that there's no hand holding or kissing or any of that good stuff, because this weekend really is about your relationship with God and developing a relationship with the entire group and celebrating our faith with 10,000 other people. Language needs to be appropriate for youth ministry and respecting one another's space, respecting one another's book bags, and all that good stuff are the basic rules. As I mentioned earlier, we'll always be traveling as a group at NCYC, again, just as safety, but also because of COVID, we'll be traveling together in a group. And students are allowed to bring their cell phones to this event. It's one of the very few events we do allow students to bring their phones to. But we're going to ask that they only have them out to take pictures or videos and for an emergency. You are allowed to bring headphones, but we're asking you only use those in your rooms at night. Otherwise, when we're on the bus, when we're hanging out together, we really want to be spending that time together as a group. So we're going to ask that phones stay away and headphones stay out, because we want to celebrate one another and get to know each other, because there are some amazing people, adults and youth, who will be traveling with us up to NCYC. We'll also be giving every student a small piece of paper to put in their name badge that'll have everyone from St. Michael's phone numbers on it, so that should they get lost, they'll be able to reconnect with someone from the group. Snacks are allowed and encouraged. Please don't bring the entirety of the Walmart snack aisle with you, but definitely bring some snacks for your room at nighttime kind of thing. And you could put a couple in your bag for during the day. Granola bars are great for that sort of thing. But we're asking that you bring a refillable water bottle and only have water on the buses. And part of that is that the convention center, as we all know, the prices are a little bit steep. And so if you have your own water bottle, you can refill it and reuse it. And it really just kind of helps to cut down the cost for the event. Speaking of cost, the total cost for each person from St. Michael's is $275, which includes a $50 deposit. The parish is offsetting the cost of NCYC for each person, so that's a huge help, and we really appreciate that. Our deposits are due by April 26th, which is the $50 deposit, and then the full payment of $275 is due by June 1st. You are responsible for the entirety of the payment if you register. The only way we're going to give refunds this year is if the event should be canceled due to COVID. So we get close to that time and the National Federation doesn't feel comfortable putting the event on, that's when money will be refunded. Otherwise, a sports thing comes up, something like that, you've already committed to the event, and so we will not be issuing refunds for it. If you want to try and find someone to take your place, that could be one way you work that out, but the parish will not be issuing refunds. Currently, we only have 10 youth spots from St. Michael's, and you must have your deposit in by April 26th to guarantee your spot. I mentioned earlier that the National Federation is only releasing 10,000 tickets, and so to ensure a spot for you, I have to have your money by May 1st, or sorry, by that April 26th, because we have to get the money into buy our tickets on May 1st with the National Federation. But the nice part is that the cost of $275 does cover our bus, it covers hotel, breakfast, lunches, and trade items are all included in that $275. Ignore that lunch is not included. Lunch is included. The only thing that you'll be having to pay for when you're on the trip is snacks, souvenirs, and dinner on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So 3 dinners will be what you're in charge of paying for when we're up there. Some other changes due to COVID is that buses will only be half full this year. We're wanting to make sure we are spreading out and taking that space to be able to do so. Masks must be worn right now at all times. Only 1 other person maximum in your hotel room. I mentioned earlier we'll be sitting and traveling as a church pod, which we do anyways, but this time there might be some space between us and other groups. Seating will be spread apart. There will be trade items this year, which for those who have been in the past, you know what amazing fun those are, but they could be a little bit different this year, and we don't know exactly what that's going to be due to COVID. And most likely, the situation is going to change. Things right now with COVID are dynamic. They could be much better at that point in time, in which things would be much more open, so just asking your flexibility and your grace and being able to do that. The one thing I know is that 10,000 number will not change. So there are only 10,000 tickets that the Federation is providing this year for NCYC. And so we want to make sure that everybody who wants to go has an opportunity to go this year to NCYC. You can register right now on our parish webpage. the St. Michael Youth Ministry page, if you go to smym.org, and then under that, there's a tab that says online events and registrations. You can go to that, or you can go to this address here, the St. Michael Church Louisville.WeShareOnline.org, to be able to sign up for this year's NCYC. As always, if you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, please reach out to me. I am happy to answer those for you guys. I know that this year is a little bit different with NCYC as what it is with all other events, but here's the one thing that I can guarantee about these events. God will still be there. They will still be amazing events. We will still grow together in our relationship with God and Christ, but we'll also grow in our relationship with one another. And the other thing I can guarantee is it's going to be awesome. This event is one of the events that I hear so often from young people about it being impactful on their faith journey. And so I would echo that as someone who has been going to NCYC for many, many years, both as a youth and an adult. It still to this day is extremely impactful, even though it is my umpteenth NCYC. So reach out, please, if you have any questions. Make sure you go online to register by April 26th. And if you have any questions or comments, please, please, please let me know. Hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.